One moment, y'all. You know I gotta put my lips up on. Okay. Wait, let me start this from the beginning. Welcome to Chelle's Closet. Thank you for stopping by. While you are here, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And you see that little red button right down there? Yeah. Go ahead and hit that. And to the right is a little bell you definitely want to hit so you know anytime I post anything up on this channel. You can also go right up here to the community tab and vote for a song, any song you want to hear me sing this coming Saturday for Saturday Night Vibes. It's the 90s, so we talking, or we're not talking, we talking tonight about families, but we're singing 90s, all 90s songs. So you can go right up there and vote. I want to get this out the way right now. Better, better, better. It is important for you not to walk in anyone's shadow. While you can learn from what someone else has experienced, don't follow their footsteps. Create your own path. Tonight's topic is family. We're going to talk about everything from everything. You know, you got families. You know what be happening in your families. We're going to talk about everything. I'm not going to talk about your family, but I'm going to talk about my family, and maybe you can identify with something that I'm saying and join the conversation. I got some crab legs right here, and I got a couple pieces of jerk chicken. So, you know, it's dinner and convo. I got some potatoes, but I cooked them a little bit hard, so I might not eat those as I'm eating them. But yeah, we're gonna get this conversation started in 1 minute. I'm about to log in on here so I can chat with y'all here and chat with y'all. We're gonna do some chat, some real life chat, so I can see y'all when y'all chat with me. Hold on, something is in my eye. I hope it's not no jerk sauce. Oh wait. Okay, I think we good. Ooh, that was hot. But I'm just logging in. Do I remember my password? Here we go with these passwords again. There we go. Oh. What did that? My ringer is on. That's so weird. I want to thank y'all for joining me last night for dinner and convo. Hello, Sly Jones. Thank you for stopping by. Why I keep saying I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Y'all definitely inspired me to be great. Y'all inspired me. Y'all definitely helped me get out of my comfort zone. Definitely. And I appreciate that because, you know, when you survive a global pandemic, you can't just live life the same way. You shouldn't want to live life the same way. You should want to be better. Tonight's topic is family. I'm going to tell y'all why I wanted to talk about family, right? Let me give y'all my disclaimer. Hold on, let me get some just water because it's just water. It's plain, of course, but here's my disclaimer. The views and opinions that are expressed in this video or in this live at this time are mine and mine alone. While you may have your own opinion of what things are, we are here to have a healthy dialogue. We're here to, you share your thoughts, I share mine, and we're going to go our separate ways and still be cordial. You can come back and visit the closet at any time. Listen, I'm not trying to sway you. I'm just here to express my opinions about families. Now that I got that out the way, I wanted to talk about families because me and my brothers were having a conversation, having multiple conversations over the entire last week. And I just thought like um everything that we know when we're growing up, we learn from our parents and our family unit, right? And I say this because I said multiple times before where I grew up in a family where we always communicated, where we talked about everything. Our grandparents, um, my grandmother was there. Like everybody was there, like present, like in the house, like there. And then while we were talking, I just started to realize like my experiences. Okay, like so my mom has 4 kids, right? I'm the oldest and the only girl, and I have 3 younger brothers. So what I realized is that the 3 oldest have totally different experiences than the younger one. So my younger brother has a totally different. He looks at our entire upbringing totally different than we look at it. Like we look at it like like our mom made sure we had video games, like we had all material stuff. Like we we used to think we were rich growing up because we all had our own style of shoes. Like anytime a new pair of shoes come out, we was getting those shoes. We had every video game system ever imagined, Barbie dolls. Like I had everything. I didn't have to. There was nothing I really wanted for growing up. There was nothing. Like if I thought I wanted, perfect example, right? I wanted a leather Pelly Pale coat. What do I know about Pelly Pale? I don't know. I just see, the people in the neighborhood that, do what they do, wearing them. And I was just like, oh, I want one. And my uncle went out and got me a green Pelly Pale. It was like green with like the New York, I think it was New York, but it had a skyline on the back of it. And I thought I was you couldn't tell me nothing when I had that Pelly Pale cut on. Then I wanted the first Usher CD. When I tell y'all, I didn't have to want for anything. So when I hear my little brother, like, I wish I could have had y'all life. And we like, no, we wish we could have had your life. The thing that was missing for us was the time that we would spend with our mother. Whereas when she got older, like, it was 4 of us. So somewhere along the line of the 4, she was like, okay, this is what I did with these. I'm going to do something different with these kids. So there's a I don't even know what you call it. I'm not gonna call it a disconnect because there's still a connection. It's just the older ones wish they had what the younger had, and the younger wish it was that. And so while we are just talking, he's just sharing his experiences with me, and I was just like, man, you know what? I was growing up like, you know what? I want to get a tattoo, and nobody was like, don't go get a tattoo. I got a bunch of tattoos, so I kept getting them because nobody was telling me like no. Like I feel like no one telling me no opened the door for me to do a lot of things at a young age, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I did a lot of things in my life. Not that kind of things, but I did a lot of things. Like I would just get up and wake up and be like, hey, I'm gonna go travel here, and I would hop on a plane and be wherever I was and hang out for a couple of days and come back, and nobody would be like, why did you go? Or listen when I tell y'all. But I started thinking like, you know what? Family is the first place where we learn love, where we learn friendships, trust, like all of the words that people will put together. Families is the first place we learn. Like our parents are our first experience when it comes to love. I don't know why when I talk it seems like the music get louder, but families are our first experience. Like parents are our first experience when it comes to love. So whatever your relationship is with your parents, in my opinion, I feel like that is how you determine love or how you look at love. Like my mother was not married to my father. However, I never really saw, I can't say never really, I never saw my mother bring a guy in our house. I never saw that. All I saw was my mother working, my mother going to church, and then she provided for us. That's all I saw. Like, literally, all I saw. I didn't see men coming in and out. I saw her take care of her bills. Like that's all I saw. I didn't see anything beyond that. So when I started to think about that, and like I said a couple of lives ago, like my grandmother wasn't married and my mother wasn't married, and I guess just jumped out of the limb and was like the first one to get married. I mean, my auntie is married, so I'm the second one in the lineage to get married. But my mother wasn't married and my grandmother wasn't married, and so um, I'm sitting here like, you know what? I don't even. I can't say I don't know why I got married, because I do know why I got married. Um, it was just I never, like, I seen my auntie and her marriage, but I didn't base like me getting married off of that. Like people would be like, oh, if you know people in your family, and I'm like, nobody. I mean, my mother didn't get married. I think I just formulated my own thoughts when it came to marriage, and that's why I got married. But even if you think about that, right? If you grow up in a household where your mother or your father had people coming in and out, like you you're going to pull from that. Like you're going to pull from that. Perfect example, right? Is when people say, don't call your child dumb or stupid because your child is going to display dumb or stupid things. I'm not calling anybody's child dumb or stupid or anything like that. I'm saying the words. Because they will start displaying those different characteristics. And I thought about that. Like, how many times have somebody called their daughter a hoe or anything like that? For me, it's I don't think this is gonna tie into the whole Kurt Franklin thing, right? I don't think just because you are a parent that you should I consider it disrespectful when a mother or a father or anybody calls anyone out their name. Dumb, stupid, whatever term you use. I don't think parents should do that to kids. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think parents should do that to kids. Because you foster in them someone calling them out their name. My mother, listen, when I was growing up, my mother called me some names. She did. She was going to church and serving God. She did. So when this whole Kurt Franklin situation happened and people was like, oh, I've been called that, I'm not one of those people that's going to say, oh, yeah, my mama called me that and it's normal. It's not normal. It should never be normal. It should never be normal. If you are a parent, it should not be normal for you to call your child out your name. Because your mama did it to you or your mama and your daddy did it to you, you should not turn around and do it to somebody else. And so what I told somebody, I said, just because you birthed me into this world, number one, I never asked to be here. I didn't come to you and say, hey, let me in. I'm here. No, I didn't want to be here. That wasn't my choice. That was your choice. You and that other person that you was with decided you was going to bring those kids here. That was your choice. Now, don't make that child. Don't put that because you're on the baby daddy, baby father, the sperm donor, whoever it is, because y'all can't get along. Don't put that on that kid. You can't be mad at me because you made a decision and I call you out on a decision that you made. It's not normal. We should not normalize disrespect. We shouldn't normalize it. I feel like if you are my mother and you disrespect me, every human being on this earth is entitled to respect. Regardless of you 0 or 99 and 100 years old, you are entitled to respect. As a human being, you are entitled to respect. Now, just because you are my mother or my father does not give you the right to disrespect me. Now, I'm not going to disrespect anyone. That's just me. I'm not going to disrespect you guys. I'm not going to disrespect, that's just me. Now, there are some disrespectful people out here. However, the Bible says, and I don't even rock with the Bible, but the Bible says, do not provoke your child to wrath, right? Y'all, my religious people that's watching but not really subscribed, but you should subscribe, but you watching, hey, you could just go ahead and hit that red button. Like right now when I'm talking, just accidentally hit it and be like, oh, I didn't even know I hit it. But anyways, if you are a parent and you tell your child at any time, do this because I say it, that's not, That's not how it should work. Like, you should be the first example I should see taking part in something. Like, you don't beat me you don't beat me to tell me what I should do. That's like slave you that's like slavery. Like, you beating me to tell me that you are my parent and I should do what you say. At the end of the day, you are only continuing the generational curse of being beat and being torn down. Like, why is it so hard for you to say, hey, you are beautiful today? Look at you looking cute today. Look at you looking handsome today. It's families is where we learn how to, I'm gonna say it again, love, how we should treat people, how we should talk to people, how to clean up. Do y'all have allowances? Do y'all have chores? Like, how to maintain a household? You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking, I'm in here, I was doing a spring cleaning. If you know me, you know I cleans. I throw away stuff that no longer serves me. Today I got rid of a lot of stuff that no longer serves me. I clean, and I was thinking, like, man, you know what? I remember being little and cleaning a basin board. Do you know what a basin board is? Like, I would clean. We would have to clean, wash walls. We would be doing all of that stuff. And I started cleaning up, and I was just like, what if I would have grew up in a household where they didn't have to clean? Like, what if my mother cleaned for us? Would I be cleaning like I clean? Like, what if my mother washed my clothes for me? Would I be able to sort my clothes, like sort them, and not just throw them all in there at one time? Like, would I be able to sort my clothes? Like, let me tell y'all, I said I'm going to get me an iron, and an ironing board. I'm about to be 41. I was just thinking, like, I haven't owned an iron. I was just dressing for comfort, like, t-shirts and jogging pants. I'm dressing for comfort. I'm about to be 41. I'm switching it all up. Listen, I told y'all I locked my hair up. I'm switching it all up. I just feel like families is where it all starts. Like, parents, like, if you don't have the love for your children, like, parents who stay together. I'm gonna talk about this. I hope this person jump in here, because I'm gonna talk about this because I had this conversation with them earlier. I said, parents who stay together for the kids. I'm going to tell you this right now. You know this, but I'm going to tell you this because you probably need to hear this from somebody say it out loud. That never works. It never works. In all of my years of watching people say, we gonna stay together for the kids, I'm going to just tolerate this for the kids. The kids. You doing it for somebody who don't even know what's going on. They don't know. They don't know if their daddy is in the house or not. You like, oh, they do know, but they in actuality, they don't even know. They don't know. You just need to make that decision to say, you know what? It's 2021. We survived a global pandemic. I've been maintaining. You probably been maintaining the bills by yourself. You probably been maintaining the kids by yourself. Why are you putting yourself through that for the kids? The kids who don't even care. They've been playing PlayStation this whole time, supposed to be in school, but they don't even care because, oh, they arguing again. How many of y'all kids can be like, oh, they arguing again? Or how many of y'all kids know what y'all actually be arguing about? You see what I'm saying? You see how it's like when I was growing up, they was like, oh, you don't do this in front of kids because then they're going to think that that's okay. Like, men would never do. Ooh, we in a whole nother dispensation. I'm going to tell y'all, men would never. Number one, they wouldn't disrespect a woman. They wouldn't. But if they did, they wasn't going to do it in front of the kids. It was going to a whole nother room. It was something else. At this juncture in our life, right? Have y'all seen the numbers for human trafficking? Like, have y'all seen the numbers of people of color, black, melanated people when it comes to human trafficking? Like, when I think about these young people that's out here, or even if let's talk about this, right? Because this is the closet, and we in the closet right now, so I'm gonna talk about it. Parents who children come out to them, or teenagers, or their family members come out to them, and you feel the need to disown them, or put them out, or make them feel ashamed for living their truths. right? It's not their fault that they have the courage to be who they want to be. It's not their fault that you didn't stand up to who you needed to stand up to be who you wanted to be. That's where I'll talk about respect. Like, if parents respected the fact that you were a human being, they wouldn't do that to you. If they understood love, more specifically, if people who attend church understood that their God is love, and love covers everything. Everything. Love covers everything. If your child comes to you and say, hey, I am gay. Hey, I identify as bi, as transgender. That is the opportune time for you to open up your arms and hug your child. Hug your child. I'm going to tell you why. The world, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, real life is already going to be hard for them. Already. How do I know? Because I'm gay. It's not easy. Imagine being a black woman growing up in church and identifying as gay. Imagine that. Imagine the people around you like, oh, I knew you. You didn't know anything. You just assumed. Everybody, kids need love. Kids need love. If y'all look at the numbers for pedophilia and all of that stuff, I don't even want to mention that on this channel, but look at those numbers, right? That's why it's important for you to build relationships with your children so that your children feel comfortable coming to talk to you about anything. If there is a grown man at their school picking them up from school, taking them to McDonald's, it shouldn't be happening, but it's happening because she don't want to tell you because she don't know how to tell you. Or he don't know how to tell you. Oftentimes we forget to mention that abuse happens to young men too. Even though young men don't talk about abuse as much as women do, it still happens. That was my segue to talk about abuse. Sexual, mental, emotionally, physically, all of the abuse leaves. Those things happen in families too. And it is at that juncture where there needs to be more than just a conversation. There needs to be some outside intervention. And I'm going to say outside intervention because when situations happen to people at young ages, those things get embedded in their head. It's there. It's there and it stays there until they grow up and go to therapy and figure it out, or just try to fight it off by having a lot of sex or smoking or drinking or just jumping in and out of relationships or having multiple kids. Or it's so many different things that we can talk about, but it all starts in the family. Like if you have siblings, your first friend is going to be, most people say it's your parents, but it's actually going to be your brother or sister. And if your brother or your sister is talking to you disrespectfully, if y'all entire family unit talk to each other disrespectful, how do you know how to talk to anybody else? Like, I feel like I remember growing up every Sunday, we had dinner at my grandmother's house every Sunday. And it wasn't, oh, we just getting over here because this is something we do every Sunday. No, we was there. And how was your week? What's going on with you? And I started to think about that, right? I was silent. I was sexually abused as a child. And I was silent. And in my mind, I was silent because of the things that the person told me would happen if I said something. And then I was silent because I knew my family members. And I was just like, I don't want them to go to jail and I don't want them to die. So I'm just going to be silent. I wasn't silent at first, but let me tell you what happened. If you have children, this is why is it important. It is so important for you to talk to them and never make them feel like it is their fault that the situation happened. That didn't happen to me, but listen. If a child comes to you and says that someone touched them, investigate it. Investigate it. I don't care if it's their mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, cousin, second cousin on their daddy's side, whoever it is, investigate it. Because if you don't investigate it, that's going to tell that child that whoever I tell, they're not going to believe me, because that person, you, not you, but you, whoever don't investigate it, you're going to tell that child that if I do say something, ain't nobody gonna do nothing anyway. So think about it. How many people like parents cussing their kids out? It seems to be the normal thing. Like, yeah, my mama caught. That's not normal. Family members abusing each other. That's not normal. That shouldn't be normal. My brother beat me up. My brother used to beat me up and try to make me tough. That's not normal. Just because somebody beat you up doesn't mean you're gonna be tough. Think about how many people got beat up and still not tough. Just because it's so many things where families is just like the epicenter of it all. Your family is where you learn how to communicate. Like, imagine being in a family, right? And y'all sitting at the dinner table and nobody's talking, y'all just eating. That's a boring family. Yeah, I know you probably like, you can't say that. Yes, I can, because it is boring. Y'all ain't did nothing all day. Y'all ain't got nothing happened to y'all virtually. Nothing happened where y'all don't want to talk about surviving a global pandemic. I mean, there needs to be. I used to say that I'm a really good conversator, right? I'm really good at conversing with people, right? And then I started reading this book about emotional intelligence, and it was like, conversation is one half of it. Good evening, Crystal. Conversation is one half of it, but comprehension is also another half of it. So conversation plus comprehension equals dialogue. I just made that up, but it should be like that. If you grew up in a family, right, and if everyone is talking over everyone, no one gives each other the opportunity to speak, how do you understand, how do you comprehend what is going on with another individual? How do you respect someone else's opinion? How is that possible? How does that work? I knew, being the only girl, I'm going to tell you, I told y'all earlier, if you watched my video earlier, I said a lot of things that I did in my life, like my earlier part of my life up into my 20s. Why did I just get emotional all of a sudden? Everything that I did was to survive. Like, it wasn't like I didn't have food or anything like that, because I always had it was just like me surviving, like me fighting against everything. Like, I don't know, maybe this didn't happen to you, but as someone being molested, it was rejection was huge for me. It was so huge for me. Huge rejection. And I don't think it didn't start with molestation, but that really heightened it. It started with the relationship with my mother. That's where it started. Like, you would think I'm the only girl, so me and my mother has, we cool, she cool, like I would do for her because, I'm gonna say because she's my mother, but that's it. That's the reality of it. Because she's my mother, I'm going to respect her, and I'm going to make sure she's good, because she's my mother. Because she's my mother. Because I honor and respect my mother. Y'all see what I'm saying there? I don't want to, like I said, one day if I was to ever have kids, I don't want it to just be like, I respect her because she's my mother. I love my mother because she's my mother. It's like obligational love. Like, I love her. Like, I don't feel obligated to love her because she's my mother. Like, no, I really love her. Once I talked to her and understood, like, the things that she went through and understood, like, where she was, it made sense for me. Like, a lot of things that I experienced growing up made sense. Like, parents, Parents don't even talk to their kids about their experiences. Like, I think parents should talk. Like, if you grew up and your mama was a crackhead or your daddy was an alcoholic, I think that is important for you to talk to your kids about. Not just because that gene or trait could be in them, but because they need to know. They need to know, like, why we can't go for cousin so and so or Uncle Pete. Y'all know Uncle Pete is my favorite. He's not my favorite, but you know. Or why they can't go over Uncle Pete's house. They need to know that. Like, don't keep secret. Like, my thing is, like, I appreciate growing up in the family that I grew up in, because I was able to observe, like, pay attention to the things that were going on around me. So when I got older and I went to therapy and I like released it all and everything, and I was getting ready to tell my uncle, and I said to myself, I said, nope, don't do it. Because while I am in a good place and I have processed through it, people is, you know what I'm saying. Like, some people just don't want to see other people hurting or crying or anything like that. And so they don't think, like, most people don't think. If you heard somebody was beating up on your sister, the first thing you're going to do is go over there and, you know what you do. If you heard somebody was doing something to your child, you won't even think twice about it. You just going to go ahead and handle your business. That should be the same when it comes to our families, though. Like, if you are a mother, like, you look at your daughter and call her a bitch or call her a hoe or a tramp, or like, how do you fix your mouth to say that about your child that you brought here? They didn't ask to come here. You brought them here. You decided it was okay. You was going to be an adult and do some adult things and bring that baby here. And then, how do you love something for 9 months? How do you hold it? You carry it in your body for 9 months, and then it comes on the outside of you and you have hate for it? How? Like, fathers, how do you see your babies, like, growing up and you over here doing what you do? How is that? How does that work? We're not even going to talk about the people that, like, have kids but don't take care of their kids, but go over here and start a whole nother family and take care of the new family and their kids. Like, what happened over there? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how parents think that staying together for kids will work. Like, I get, okay, we were at one point in time, we was in love or lust or whatever. We was living together. We was doing fine. You ever heard of, like, a parent being jealous of their child? I've heard numerous. I'm not even going to say heard. I've watched numerous of situations where parents are jealous of their children, which doesn't make sense because you are the parent and you were here before I was. And y'all relationship should have been solidified, because you are. I'm not just talking about me, because my parents aren't jealous of me. Sometimes I forget that my parents even know that I'm here. No, I'm just joking. I'm thankful for COVID. I said this before. I'm thankful for COVID, not because it's getting people sick. No, I'm thankful for COVID because it allowed my parents to see who their best child is. Yep, I said it. I'm the best child because, I'm going to make sure they're good. That's just me. And it came from me understanding my mother and her situation, and me understanding my father and his situation, and then them getting together and me understanding the big picture of how all of that happened. Oh, I get it now. I felt abandoned because y'all was just, adults doing adults things. Y'all wasn't really trying to, So adults out there that's just doing adults things. Let me tell you, in case nobody told you, there is a possibility that you can become pregnant by having sex, whether it's protected or unprotected. There's a possibility. And if you're not ready for no kids, you probably shouldn't be doing it. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. But I also think, since we're talking about families and love, parental love, that's the first love that you get exposed to. And then if you have siblings, right, it's like siblings love. So I told you I'm the oldest and the only girl. So my younger brother is like, you're the only sister I got. I'm gonna go to war for you. All of these other things, you know, brothers. If you got brothers, you know how they just be. I'm talking to them, and I'm just like, you know what? Because our mother worked so much, like I became like their mom. I didn't want to. Wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be your mother. It was like I was the responsible one, making sure, you know, they got dressed, ate, clothes, like everything. And then when I was like 20, nah, I had to be like 23. Somewhere up in there, I left. Moved to a whole nother state, was living life. And then I came back, and my brothers was like, hey, we feel abandoned by you. And I was like, abandoned? I didn't abandon y'all. And as soon as I said that, I reeled that back in. And I was like, tell me how you felt abandoned. And when they told me how they felt abandoned, because I was taking care of them. I was making sure they was good. I was being a mother. And when I left, they didn't have that. So I understand abandoned. The woman who was abandoned turned around and abandoned somebody else. It hurt my heart to hear that. But guess what I did? I expressed to them that was not my job. That wasn't my responsibility. However, I took that on because I care for them. I didn't want them to experience the things that I experienced. As you know, most older siblings, well, I can't say that. Well, I'm speaking for me. As an older sibling, I did not want my younger siblings to go through what I went through. Whether that was making sure that they looked nice, they smelled nice. Yeah, I looked and smelled nice all the time. I'm just saying, you know, like the upkeep, the house, they had food, they had a phone, like just making sure that the home was maintained. Like my mother, she loves Jesus. And you probably got a mother or a father or somebody that loves Jesus. They love him. Give him all their time and attention and everything. She's not a bad person. If anybody, you know my mother, you know she's not a bad person. That's like, I'm grown now. My experience with my mother was totally different from your experience with my mother. Just like with the whole Kurt Franklin situation. His experience with his father and his mother is totally different from the other kids' experience with his father and his mother. When he came out and said what he said about his father, I didn't think that he was trying to ruin his career. I didn't think none of that. I just thought like, damn, this boy is really hurt and he broken. And instead of people addressing the fact that he's hurt and broken and even listening to his stories, it was like, we not gonna cancel Kurt Franklin and he shouldn't have recorded his father and now he shouldn't have put I'm not gonna say what the young man shouldn't have did. If that's how he felt he needed to get to his father, hey, he survived the global pandemic. Hey, he's freeing himself. Anywho, but I think the point that I was expressing to someone who talked to me about it was, when are we going to talk about the broken young man? When are we going to talk about the young man who actually stated that he didn't feel loved by his father? He didn't feel... When are we going to talk about that? And then his parents did separate interviews and was like, we know that we were young parents and we made a lot of mistakes. And now your adult son is saying that you made a lot of mistakes and he wore the weight of your mistakes. Like I said earlier, my mother has 4 kids. And then, you know, the first couple of ones, you know, I'm the oldest. So, you know, the oldest always, we the test dummies. I'm not calling you a dummy. I'm just saying we the test dummies. So our parents try things out on us, like whoopings and chores and all of these other things. So like by the time they get to whatever number, the youngest one is just like, man, you get away with everything. If I was to sneeze, I was getting beat, or I wasn't getting beat. Like, I got a one whooping in my entire life. I'm 40. I got one whooping. But that's what I'm saying. Like my mother didn't spoil me. My mother just did what she did. She bought everything, whatever I wanted. I want, boom, it's there. But when do we, like, growing up in families and your family treats you real shitty? Like, when do families stand up and be like, yeah, we treated you real shitty? Or hold themselves accountable? Or when is it like, well, mama treated me shitty too, so, like, why is that normal? Why is it normal for us to be treated shitty, or normal for us to, like, not be respected in our own families? Like, how can you birth a child into this world and the child do not come out how you want it to come out, so you just gonna disown it? Like, would your mother have disowned you? Like, I'm not even gonna say what your mother has disowned you, because that's a cycle. That's a generational curse shit. How do you birth something into this world and disown it? How do you carry it for 9 months? It's growing on the inside of you. How do you disown it? Like, how do you look at your child who have just come out the closet and know the world is going to be against it, and they found the courage to come and speak to you, and you say, God gonna deliver you. You need deliverance. You can't stay in my house because you gay. Like, you think it's a disease. It's not a disease. If it was a disease, honey, everybody would be carrying rainbow flag. Anyways, it's not a disease. Do you say that? Do you say that when your son comes in with his 15th grandchild, or his fourth grandchild, with his 16th baby mama? Y'all know I'm just exaggerating these numbers. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just saying. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, right? Do you say that when your little son come up in there, or your little daughter come up in there flipping her wigs? Like, when do we look at our son or our daughter or our brother and sister and be like, you know what, bro, I love you. You know what, sis, I love you. Like, how do we not do that in our families? Like, how do we allow TV to raise our kids, or video games, or whatever? How do we allow teens to be on Snapchat and Facebook? Like, we all know kids ain't supposed to be on Facebook and these other websites, but they on there. How do you not monitor that? How do you not monitor your daughter on Snapchat while this grown man is sending her, or even this grown woman is sending her stuff? How do you not monitor your son? He going over to his friend from schoolhouse, and then the sister, do y'all, hey, can so-and-so come and spend the night at my house? Do y'all know who's spending the night at the house? Why am I trying to be politically correct on what I say? And it's my channel. Like, when do we stand up for our family members? Like, if you know your family does some fucked up shit to your siblings, if you are the token child and you know, they say every family has a black sheep, right? They say that. That's they. We're going to say they. That's people outside of me. They say every family has a black sheep. If you know, I'm going to tell you how, you're going to see what I'm saying right here, right? Kids know who their parents' favorite child is. Parents always going to say, I don't have no favorites. I ain't got no favorites. I don't got no favorites. Parents always have a favorite. And if you are a sister, brother, cousin, you know who your parents' favorite child is, right? And you can just watch. I'm going to tell you, my mother has 4 kids. I'm going to tell you who her favorite child is. I have a brother that's under me, and the youngest, these 2 right here, they can do whatever. They gonna do whatever, and she gonna be hoo-ha for him. But me and my other brother, she gonna look at that situation. She gotta evaluate it. She gotta pray to Jesus. She gotta seek the heavens. She gotta do all of that when it comes to us 2. But every parent has a favorite child. And sometimes mothers I'm gonna talk to you for a minute. I don't have any kids, so like I said in my disclaimer at the beginning of this channel, beginning of this live, these are just my opinions. When your husband leaves you, or your baby daddy, or your boyfriend, or your common law husband, whoever it is, when they leave you, it's not your son's responsibility to be the man of the house. It's just not. I personally feel like children should be allowed to be children. They should. Like, if you are a parent and you have a child and then you start making your other children babysit that child, I think they should get paid because they're babysitting your child. Yes, their brother or their sister, but it's your child. Like, so now you just having kids so you can have babysitters? That is, yeah. I don't know. I gotta change this song. There we go. I just really think like somewhere between slavery and now, there was a shift. There was parents that we all know somebody like this, right? There was a family right here that had a father and he was with his family, and probably up the street or at the end of the block, he had another family, and then he took care of all of them, like all of them. Do y'all remember when people was having like 10, 14, 16 kids? Taking care of all of them. All of them. And they didn't even know each other. Some of them did. But I'm not condoning that. But this is what I'm saying. What happened to caring about each other? Like, parents, if you know like this shit ain't working, you know, we're not compatible. You and me, it was good while it lasted. Scoot on. Move forward. Do not, parents, mothers, fathers, because some fathers are starting to do this now too. Mothers are giving up their rights to the kids. I'm telling you something. There was a shift. Do not stay with someone just because you have a child with them. If you know the relationship, you know the situationship isn't working, do not stay with the person. Don't stay with the man, don't stay with the woman, don't stay. Just don't. You probably saw your mama say it was gonna work, and it's gonna be different, because that my mama it's not gonna work. It's not. And those kids don't even know what's going on. I mean, they probably do, because they probably hear y'all arguing all the time. But listen, it's important while we are in households to make sure that we show love. Parents especially. That's why, I be saying every now and again, parents, tell your kids that they're beautiful. Tell them that they're handsome. Not in that kind of way, because I know y'all know some parents be on that stuff too. No. None of that. No sexual abuse, no physical abuse, no emotional abuse should be going on in your household. How do you carry something for 9 months and not protect it? How do you protect it while it's on the inside of you, but when it comes on the outside of you, you don't protect it? How is that possible? I can't get it. I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't. I'm not even a parent, but I just think like I can't let you disrespect. I can't let you disrespect another human being in my presence. I can't. If I'm here, even when there's like family beef or family drama, I'm not gonna let you disrespect, because at the end of the day, one day y'all gonna figure it out and y'all gonna be talking to each other again. Brothers and sisters, people be fighting like cats and dogs, and the next minute they're gonna be back talking to each other. Like, where does all of the anger come from? Where Where does all of the hatred, where does that come from? How do you... I couldn't look at my brother and tell him I hate you. I couldn't, because I really love my brother, like my brothers. Hell, I'll be loving people in my life where it just be like, I don't give a fuck what you did to me. I still love you. You know why? Because my love isn't based upon conditions. My love isn't based on, oh, if you do this, like, we're going to talk about this love, right? We're going to talk about, I love you because you're my brother and my sister. Y'all heard me just say I love my mother because she's my mother. I do love her because she's birthed me into this world. I kind of feel like that's obligational love. I love her obligationally because she's my mother. I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't know. I'm developing another form of love. I didn't know her in the manner where she nurtured and cared for me. I didn't know her in that manner. That was my grandmother. So you see what I'm saying? Like, that was my grandmother who nurtured and cared. My mother just materialistically provided for me. Ooh, I like how I said that. She just materialistically provided for me. But now that I'm an adult, I like to say, I just put it on COVID, since COVID, but I like to say that now she's understanding this whole situation that I'm going through right now. She's definitely been more talking to me more, wanting to hang out, asking me how I'm doing. Just is, hey, you know, when you know better, you do better. If you are a parent and saying, this life didn't come with a handbook and it didn't, if you have more than one child, you should have some kind of wisdom on how to. You can write the book on how to. If you have more than one child, like, families get me so, if you have more than one child, right, there should be no favorites. There shouldn't be any favorites. It shouldn't be. I'm going to say that. There should not be any favorites. However, because we already know that parents have favorites, when you have a child, right? Parents, when you have a child, we understand. As a child, I understand my mother probably wanted me to grow up and marry a man and have kids and do all of those things, right? But I think somewhere parents forget that it's another human being. Like, you have to allow that other human being the opportunity to figure out who they are or who they're going to be. Like, I see parents where they be letting their sons wear dresses or their girls play with trucks and things like that. Like, for me, I'm not going to be like, oh, that young boy going to grow up and be gay, or oh, that young girl going to grow up. I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking that young boy just wants to wear a dress. It's harmless to me. You allowing your child to figure it out. You want your kids to go to this school. You want them to play these sports. You want them to dress like this. You want them to talk like this. You want them to hang out with these kind of people. You want them to go to church and serve God. You want them to go to temple and praise whoever. You have these kids' life already planned out. And then the moment they decide that they don't want to fall in line with what you want to do, then you want to disown them, treat them bad, down talk them, beat them. But you forgot that they were another human being. Yes, they are your children. Yes, they are. They will always be your children. I remember going to college, being in college, right? And my friends would, their parents would send them money. Like, when I say money, they would send them money and they would blow through it like it was nothing. Like, they didn't even care. But the entire time they were going to school to study medicine, knowing that they wanted to be like a journalist or something. I gotta go, and my grandfather's a doctor, my father's a doctor, and they want me to be a doctor. Like, how do you put that on somebody else? Like, give them other options. Like, most people who grow up in church strive to be a bishop, an elder, a missionary, evangelist, or to have their own church, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a big world out here. You could be anything. Literally, you could be anything you want to be, especially with this here internet. You could literally be anything that you want to be. I feel like families put restrictions on people, and so when you don't fall in line with what the family wants you to do, you considered an outcast. And the last thing anybody wants to do is be an outcast in their own family, except for me. I'm not that. Now that was I was generalizing that because me, my bills be paid. My bills be paid. Me and my brother had a situation, and outside of me seeing how he was doing, checking in on him, and him checking in on me, we wasn't really talking because we had a situation. I told y'all at the beginning of this video, I'm about respect. I don't care who you are. The moment you become disrespectful, yeah, no. Disrespect, I do not tolerate disrespect at all. I don't care who it come from. I do not tolerate it. And I got a couple of people that I'm gonna come see. Not right now, maybe when I turn 41 and I be a little, a little time has passed. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna let it go though one day. But right now, I'm not letting it go because I do not tolerate disrespect at all. No, I don't tolerate no disrespect. Period. Like, I would never be disrespectful to anyone. That's because me, I'd be like, you know what? Karma is a bitch. And I ain't trying to fuck with Karma at all. Like, at all. She a bad bitch, but I ain't trying to fuck with her because she be fucking up people's lives. Like, lives. And I don't got time for that. And I survived a global pandemic. What I'm gonna do? Waste time being disrespectful to you? That's why when I see those people out there on the street or outside in the gas station, I don't disrespect them because listen, I'm 5-6 years removed from being homeless. That was a hard time for me. Like, I got people, everywhere. Like, I was literally homeless. Like, I slept in cars. Yeah, that's why when I'm talking to you guys about loving yourself and believing in yourself and trusting yourself and knowing yourself, like, that's important. That's what I discovered. Like, this, I say the journey to self-discovery was just, it started in September when all this shit kicked off. No, it's been, I want to say, since I first went to therapy. That was like 30. It's just me discovering, like, you know what? This is why you do this. This is why you do this. This is why you say this. This is why you feel so guarded when you're in situations like this. And then when I realized, like, oh shit, that is, I don't really care. Like, I've been in this house hanging out with myself. Y'all see my nieces and nephews come over sometimes. Other than that, I'm in here by myself. And I remembered, I told y'all this a minute ago. I remember when Mike Tyson said people don't like to be alone because they have to deal with demons. And it was like, me being alone, I ain't got no demons, but I had to deal with the abandonment. I had to deal with the rejection. I had to deal with feelings of not being good enough. I had to deal with everything. I am still dealing with these things. I'm not even trying to be perfect because that don't even exist. It's just a word in the dictionary that somebody made to people to strive that will never obtain. But anyways, but I'm still dealing with these things. Like, I'm healing. When I tell y'all I cleaned up today. When I say I cleaned up, this shirt is like the only thing that I didn't throw away. That's because I need to wash. That's it. But once I wash, it's gonna go in the garbage. But I'm just releasing stuff. Like, I understand, like, okay, I'm holding on to this because of what? Y'all see? I'm holding on to this because of what? This situation hurt me. And I'm woman enough to say this shit hurts. Breakups are hard. This shit hurts. Like, I never would have thought this would happen to me, but who am I? I'm just another human being. This shit. But it is shit, like, my family, the support, the love, the understanding. I think it's that for me, like the understanding. Like I told my brothers, like when all of this shit first kicked off, I said, I am going to have good days. I'm going to have bad days. Some days I'm not even going to want to talk to anybody. I'm just going to want to sit in my bed and just lay and just be. And they wasn't like, oh no, you need to do this. No, they was like, okay. And I look at my phone, I get a text or a call or, hey, is some food at the door, or it was something. Like the support, the love. Like how come families, what happened to that? Like parents, what happened to you being the first line of defense for your kids? Like, how do you allow anyone to like harm your kids? Even though I'm 40, listen, I'm 40 years old, right? But my mother, I literally saw my mother, this is the 6th or 7th time in my life, I've seen my mother feel some kind of way behind me. Like my mother, when my father was heartbroken. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, my father loves. I'm not saying past tense because everyone over here loves. And he was heartbroken. Like he's to this day still heartbroken, trying to figure out how he can make it work. I'm like, what are you gonna do to make it work? Like, but that's when people love you, they will do that. So I'm not knocking any family that feel like we got to protect you, we got to do that. Listen, especially if the person is beating on you or they doing something that's harming you, I'm not knocking any of that. But if the family, if that person is loving you and doing everything that they can to show you how valuable you are, I think sometimes families just step over into things that they shouldn't step over into. Like, families should just love each other. We all survived a global pandemic, and while we are not spending time loving on our siblings, our mothers, our nieces and nephews is beyond me. How we're fighting each other, how we allowing people to be disrespectful, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and watch my little brother be disrespectful to my mother. My mother may say some really reckless stuff sometimes, but I'm not gonna allow him to disrespect her. Not just because she's our mother, but because he has daughters. And if they see you disrespect your mother, one day they gonna be like, you know, you and your child gonna be fighting. I never understood how parents box their kids. Like, that's your child. Why are you boxing with your child? I don't know. I always been the type. This is why I told you I only got one whooping in my life. Because I always been the type you could talk to me. Like, I would start crying at the drop of a hat. That's why earlier I said I'm thankful to have tears, because somewhere, I want to say somewhere from like 8 to maybe 26, I wasn't really crying. I literally was like no emotions, didn't cry, didn't care. I didn't give a fuck about nothing. I was just out here being ruthless. And I don't mean ruthless like that. I mean ruthless like I just don't care. That was my words. I just don't care. I don't care enough about you or your opinion. I just don't care. My bills was always taken care of. Listen, I told y'all, rent, and Wi-Fi. Well, it wasn't really Wi-Fi at that time, but I always had the up-to-date phone, so I was good. I had a car. Maybe when people start taking care of me and my bills, maybe I would start caring. I won't, because I would still be able to take care of myself. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that was something that I learned. Like, balancing a checkbook, I learned at my granny's table. Yes, I learned it at school, but I also learned that at my granny's table. Like, why aren't we, like right now, why aren't you teaching your child about credit? All you hear is credit is like a buzzword right now. Credit, 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 credit. Everybody's talking about credit, but why aren't you teaching your children about credit? Like, why don't you teach your child that they can literally be anything they want to be in 2021? And I'm laughing because you could literally be that. Your child come to you and say they want to be the next president of the United States, and you like, you gonna be. No, they can be the next president of the United. They can be the next president of the United States. We done already saw. They let anybody be president now. We already saw that. We know that. I think families need to be more family oriented. Oh, that's what I was going to tell. I said I was going to tell y'all this because this is one of the other conversations me and my brothers had. I said, what is the only race that you know that say you can't work with family members? I'm saying this is the only race that I hear say it. This is the only race that I hear say it. Because when I think about beauty supply stores, I think about gas stations, I think about construction companies, I think when y'all think about things like that, who do you hear say, oh, we can't work with family, you can't work with family? And then you start to think about, wait a minute, how is they got all this? And then we want to talk about different communities. That's because my brother said that's because they were taught. They were taught to look out for one another. They was taught, and I was like, what do you mean? We always talking about family. That's my bro, that's my sister. We be people we grew up with on the block. Hey, that's my brother, that's my cousin. They don't be your brother and cousin. They ain't no blood relation. But why don't we teach our people, like, why aren't we teaching our kids stocks and bonds? Like, why aren't we teaching them entrepreneurship? Like, we want them to grow up and work at McDonald's or work for somebody else the rest of their life because, you know, it worked for us. I'm going to cash out my retirement. Like, your child. I said this the other day. Do you know Ryan's toy review? Do y'all know him? He's a YouTuber. He's got to be like 9, 10 now? Millions. Why your little baby couldn't be making something, doing something? Like, why they can't have a YouTube channel eating seafood? Because it is kids eating seafood. If y'all go look at them numbers, y'all gonna see little Ray, little Charlie, little Sarah, little Becky gonna be eating seafood today, tomorrow. You know the stimmies done came out too? I just want to talk about families. I just want y'all to talk to me about families because I realize, like, families is the epicenter of where everything happened. Your experience with love, if you feel like if your mother or your father berates, calls you out your name and beats you, you're going to feel like that's okay. Like, if your partner doesn't beat you or call you out your name or down talk you, that's okay. That's they don't love you. That's not love. Parents who call their kids bitches and hoes and little niggas and all of that, that's not love. You could try to convince somebody else that is love. That is not love. You are just repeating something that happened. It worked for me, so I'm going to do it for them. If you are a parent and you don't hug your child, hug your child. Hug. I don't care how old they are, how tall they are, hug them. Let them know you love them. Let them know you care. Don't try to control them. Let them be kids. Let them be adults. Let them live this fucked up life and love them, not for every decision, because if they go out here and do something that is illegal, or don't love them for that. Hold them accountable for that. But love your kids. Love them. Don't mistreat them, abuse them, and then just feel like because you're the parent, they're just supposed to take care of you. We've seen numerous occasions where kids grow up and be like, fuck the parents, and put them in nursing homes and adult houses and all this other shit, or just let them be at home and not even care. It's families. Like, what happened to the family unit? What happened to us looking out for each other? I mean, I look out for my brothers. I'm just saying. Not only my brothers, my nieces and nephews, my cousins, anybody that I'm like in a close relationship to. Shit, I said to someone. Actually, I'm not even gonna say someone. I said to my nieces. My niece who just celebrated she's 13 years old, y'all. I can't even believe She's 13. I can't even believe it. She's 13 years old, and I said to her mother, she's no longer dating my brother. She's no longer dating my brother, but we still talk, we still communicate. And I was like, why is it that people feel like when you're no longer in a relationship with somebody, like you should just stop talking to the person? Like me and her built a relationship, so I'm not supposed to talk to her because she's not talking to my brother? What kind of shit is that? Do y'all not see how that's like, that's not like, do y'all see what that is? You gonna tell me I can't talk to this person because you no longer talk to them? Not in my 40 years of living have I ever stopped talking to somebody because I wasn't talking to. That doesn't make sense to me. I built a relationship with y'all, so I'm coming here to talk to y'all. So what? Me and that other person didn't work out. Okay, cool. And if you can't talk to me because me and that other person didn't work out, I understand where you are in your life, and I understand I didn't need to talk to you anyways. Thank you. Swipe left. Y'all probably see me swipe right. But anyways, thank you. I'm not gonna stop talking to people just because, I don't know. I see like so much stuff is like control and manipulation and guilt and all of these different things. Like we keep passing it on. Like my mother did it to me, so let me pass it to you. My father didn't hug me, so let me not hug you. Like it just keep going on. Like why? Like when does it stop? Time out. If there is like 4 generations, right? Abuse. How are these 3 that were abused not standing up for the 4th one? How do you not do that? Like if you are a sibling and you know Uncle Pete was touching you and you're the oldest, like how do you not, Uncle Pete was touching me? How do you not? Like I went to my brothers and was like, listen, y'all could talk to me about anything. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not saying what happened to my brothers, because listen, but if you have male children, you definitely want to go talk to them, because we oftentimes forget that pedophiles don't only just touch girls, they also touch boys. And a lot of these pedophiles aren't just men. There are some women who's being pedophiles too. Parents, not just the fathers touch the kids. The women be touching the kids too. Like how do you abuse something that you brought into this? I don't get it. Like I couldn't comprehend like how why am I getting a whooping? I still to this day don't understand whippings. So I'm getting beat because you told me not to do something, but didn't tell me why I shouldn't do something. And so now you feel like you have to beat me to make me know or understand. Like I'm telling y'all, like that's what I'm saying. My family, where we had talked about everything, I be trying to understand. So once I was like, you ain't gotta whoop me, you ain't gotta beat me, you don't gotta yell at me, do none of that. Just talk to me. Like that's what I'm saying right there, Trish. How can you hurt a child? How can you know that a child is hurting and not do anything at all? And I'm not even just talking about physical or sexual abuse. I'm talking about mental abuse, like emotionally. If you are a parent, right, and your mother called you out your name and beat you and embarrassed you and did all of that shit, why would you turn around? You gotta remember how you felt. Why would you turn around and do that same bullshit to your child? It's bullshit. I'm calling what it is. I gave my disclaimer at the beginning of the video. If you, it's a lie, but I gave my disclaimer at the beginning of this live. These are my feelings. This is what I think. I think parents should do a better job. You don't have any kids, so you don't know how hard it is. Shit, life period is hard. Life is hard. Those kids didn't ask to be here, so you brought them here, so you need to step your shit up and do what the fuck you need to do to protect these fucking kids out here. People of color are, y'all see we being human. They trafficking us. And some of us ain't even being trafficked. And some of us, we ain't even gonna say what they doing to us. But y'all know that y'all see how much the price of melanin is. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better start hugging y'all kids, telling them how much you love them. Don't just buy them the latest Jordans. Show them how to invest in something. Your baby want to be a cosmetologist. Buy her some fingernail polish and let her paint your fingernails. I be loving when the dads be on like TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and they be letting their daughters do all that. That's bonding time. When was the last time you bond with your child? When was the last time you bond with your sisters or your brothers? Like, y'all don't have bonding moments? Y'all all just get together and just be like, ooh, we here. And then y'all go. Y'all don't text each other. Y'all don't call each other to see how y'all doing. It's only when weddings, funerals, or birthdays, y'all talk to each other. Y'all life was that fucked up? Or maybe it wasn't fucked up. Maybe you just decided I don't need to talk to them. There is some reason why you don't need to talk to them. It's 2021. Like, we survive. I'm going to keep saying this for as long as this fucking global pandemic is around. We're surviving a global fucking pandemic. People are dying. This shit is mutating. And we going to be sitting around twiddling our fingers like hating each other and not letting go of shit and forgiving. We'll show you on a journey to healing and self-discovery. Everybody ain't at that journey yet. Well, we should be getting there shortly. We should be arriving there. Your destination is up ahead. If you're still doing the same shit you was doing in 2020, over in 2021, this is about to be the end of this month will be the end of the first quarter. If you haven't accomplished anything, like, families used to encourage you to like go to college or go play a sport or do something. Like, we're not even encouraging people to do something. It's like, oh, you like him? He like you? Okay, good. Go ahead and be with him. No. Do he got a job? Do he have goals? Do he have visions? Like, do he want to be somebody in this world? Like, what is family like? Like, is they crazy? Is they, like, remember they would do that. My uncle told me, he was like, you know what, if you get ready to talk to somebody, look at their fingernails and their shoes. And I laughed because I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, if they keep their fingernails and their shoes clean, that's how you know they keep their body clean. I was like, okay. And I started paying attention. Then from there, I started adding more stuff on there. I started checking out how people talk to their mama. I check out how people talk to their siblings. If you don't talk to your mama or your father or your siblings, how do I think that you're going to talk to me properly? I'm telling you, I learned a lot. I learned a lot in this last year 7 months. I learned a lot. And it wasn't about the person that I was with. I learned a lot about myself. I learned more about myself being single than I did when I was with her. And the most important thing that I learned is that I didn't love myself as much as I thought I did. I didn't. When I started thinking back on shit, it was like, why the fuck did I? But that was that abandonment. That was that rejection. It was like, no, I'm just going to do this because, no, fuck that. No, fuck that. That's why I keep talking about accountability. We got to hold ourselves accountable and hold the people around us accountable. You did some fucked up shit. I'm going to let you know. I know that you did this fucked up shit. Now, where we go from here, if you know you abused somebody, if you know you did some disrespectful, some downright, low down, dirty shit to somebody, and they come to you and say, you did this to me, and you know you did it, and you gonna look and say, well, that was so long ago, you should get over it, or I don't do that no more. This is what I'm saying, right? That's when you have the opportunity to say, I know I did some fucked up shit to you, and I apologize. Not, oh, I'm sorry, but you should get over it. Or people who be molested and be like, oh, I got over it, nothing happened, look at me. I was molested by Uncle P, but nothing happened to me. But you need to go out every weekend, you gotta smoke and drink. Y'all know where I'm going. Ain't nothing wrong with smoking and drinking. I'm not saying that is that. But I'm saying if you have to smoke and drink excessively, if you popping pills, if you sexing regularly, like if you think about, if you think and if you understand sex, right? We use sex as a drug nowadays. And I'm saying we because I'm including myself in there. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm better. I really don't care if y'all think I'm better or not. I just don't care. But we use sex as a drug when sex is built to be something intimate between two people. It's sex. Everything is sex now. Sex is everywhere. It's everything. It's a huge thing. People don't feel like you love them if you're not getting sex. You don't feel love. We gotta do better. We have to do better because these younger generations, these kids, your kids, your nieces and nephews are watching you. You might not think they are because you probably think they got their face in the video game, but they are actually watching you. If you are an older man, they are watching how you talk to women. They're watching how you talk to them. If you have multiple kids by different people, these kids are paying attention. If you live in one house and the kids and you have other kids in another house, they are paying attention to how you treat them kids in this household. And one day your kids are going to grow up. And when they grow up, if they come to you and say, I feel like you was a shitty parent, that's not for you to get defensive and say, I did the best that I could no, that's just tell me why I was a shitty parent. Mother, you are a father. Show your child love, show your teenager love. Show love, period. Show love, communicate. Sit your family down. Is anything happening? What's going on? How are y'all doing? Like, be a family. Don't just be family because we have the same blood running through our veins. Be a family. Show love. Support each other. Don't just support somebody just because we're family, we just gonna be a support. No, really support somebody. If one of your family members is gay, love them. Don't try to throw Jesus at them or counseling or shock therapy or anything like that. Love them. Love them. Treat them like you would want to be treated. That's all I'm gonna say. We need to love more. We need to be compassionate. We need to converse more. We just need to be better. I can't express that enough. We just need to be better. We need to do better for the generations that's coming behind us. And parents, I'm gonna say this again. If your child comes to you and say you did a fucked up job raising them, that's not for you to take defense. And majority of the time, the parents know that they did a fucked up job. I did the best that I could. I didn't have. Okay. Just accept the fact that you did a fucked up job and listen. From that moment, they open up the door for you to do better. Do better. That's it. Just do better. Take accountability. I did fuck up. Like with the whole Kirk Franklin situation, I'm going to keep references because people was like, oh, he got money. Kirk Franklin cut his money off. Do y'all not realize he is still Kirk Franklin's son? If he decide he want to do a tell-all book, there's a publisher that will pay him money to hear what he has to say about Kirk Franklin. There's news stations, there's journalists that will pay him to come and talk about his father. He don't need his father's money. He is his father's money. And it gives him privilege to use his father's name regardless. But the thing, I said that because I wanted to say this, right? Because people was like, oh, he grew up in a household. He had all this. His father is rich, blah, blah, blah. As someone who grew up in a household who had everything given to her, my mother, I'm not even going to say my mother wasn't rich because she did what she did. I don't know what she did, but she did what she did. And we had a lot of things. But I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I would have rather sat in the house with my mother and played video games or Chinese checkers or you know, stuff. I would have loved to do that with my mother. Instead, I did that with my grandma. It was my grandma who taught me how to sew, how to cook. Like everything I know, it was my grandmother who taught me that. My mother just materialistically provided for me. My father just sent me a birthday card every year. So the people who were supposed to teach me love didn't. They abandoned me. So the relationships I have with them isn't as parents, it's just as another human being that I respect the position that they hold in my life. You don't want your child to grow up and be like, hey, that's the woman who birthed me, or that's my father. You know, everybody's a sperm donor. You want your child to actually love you. I love the woman that is my mother. I love her. I don't know the mother. I don't know that. So I love her as the woman that she is to me. And I'm okay with that. I'm still learning. I'm still on a journey to self-discovery. So, you know, as I grow older, it may change. I don't know, but guess what? I'm open to it. I'm open to it. I'm not turning down the relationship that we have now because we talking a lot. We hanging out. She buying food. She coming over. She cooking. We just talking about everything. I'm just here to share my experience with y'all, my thoughts with y'all, give y'all a safe space to come and talk about whatever you going through. It's the closet. I'm gonna do a video next week. I'm gonna do a video and just talk to y'all about the name change, why it changed, all of that. Like I'm being transparent. I told y'all helping me get out of my comfort zone. I'm talking more. I'm doing a lot of things that I never. Like I had a dream, Martin Luther King, I had a dream that one day I would do this, and this. And this is already over there, but this, and this is right here, presently in my hand. It's right here. I am there. I'm there with these things, and my mind is blown every day. Every time I look at a situation and be like, damn, if this would not have happened. And I'm just, y'all probably figured it. I'm just using that as, but this is something that was in me the entire time. This is something when I was way over there, like 17, 18, way over there. It's like one day I'm gonna grow up and this is what I'm gonna do. And of course, life throws shit at you, and then you just be like, I kept saying to myself, one day I am going to be here. I was taking on everything. One day I'm going to be here. And that's why I told y'all earlier, if you didn't check out my video, go ahead and check it out up here. I am in a space in my life where I have grown. I love my parents. I love my brothers. I love my nieces and nephews. I love you guys. I am filled with love and admiration and positivity. And I just want everybody to do good. I want everybody to just ball out. Just like be better. That's just me for I said the rest of my life. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to just put out positive energy towards everybody. I hope that you are watching this. I hope that something I said encourages you to start a conversation with your family, with your mother, with your father. Call your siblings. Do a siblings lunch or something. And y'all just talk about how y'all family, how everybody experienced the family. Like talk, like get it out of you. Get it out of you. You know what I remember when I was little and you took my chips and you lied and said whatever. Talk about it. Don't hold that in there. Let it go. Life is, I know we're in a global pandemic, but life is huge. Like you could literally do whatever you want to do right now in your life. I think families need to build that, whatever it was that the slave people our ancestors, whatever they had that kept us like this. I think we need to find that again. We need to find that thing that was holding the family together. I want to say it was grandparents, but it was something that was holding us all together. And right now we don't have it. You know, I know we don't got it. Parents, love on your kids. Love them. Show them how important they is. I tell my brothers, I was like, listen, you take your daughter, take her to the mall, take her to get her nails done, treat her nice, love on her, show her how she should be treated. If you treat her shitty, she gonna think that it's okay for this dude or this girl to be treating her shitty. Treat your sons. Mother, take your sons out. Fathers, take your kids out. Show them how they should be treated. And don't curse at your kids. Don't call them out their name. Be respectful. People be like, oh, I'm the parent, so they should respect me. Technically, they never asked to be here. Technically, if they never asked to be here. So it is your job to raise them. Not beat them up, not ridicule them. This is for you. I'm gonna talk to you parents right here who has a child that you feel or that you know, because parents be knowing, but they just don't be wanting to say nothing. But y'all know, if you have a child that you feel will one day come out of the closet, or you have an adult child that you feel will one day come out of the closet, do not dare fix your mouth. You can't tell a parent not to fix their mouth. Yes, I can, because you are a parent. You sat with that child when they were sick. You were there when they were heartbroken. They got high school sweethearts, broke up with them, whatever. You were there. This is not a time for you to turn your back on your child. This is a time for you to love them even more. Think about it. If you are a parent of a black child, whether it is male or female, we especially talking about you, people of color. I'm people of color. If you have a child of color, especially a male child of color, you understand how hard it is to be living right here in this world. So when they are at home, their home life should not be as hard as it is on the outside. Make it inviting. I try to make Chelle's closet inviting because it's a closet. It's where people find safety. It's skeletons be hiding in the closet. I don't got no skeletons in my closet. Y'all know everything there is to know about me. And if you want to know something about me, ask me. I'm going to tell you. I mean, you can Google me. I'm out there. Literally. Google me. I put Tiana Taylor. No, you can really Google me. I'm really out there. I don't have nothing to hide. I made up in my mind that I wasn't going to hide anything, because the last thing I need somebody to do to think they going to hear something and then be like, oh, well, I know this. Listen, my life is an open fucking book. Ain't nothing you can say that's going to hurt me or make me feel sad or anything like that. And I'm 40 fucking years old. And I've overcame some shit in my life that you couldn't even imagine. Like, you wouldn't even want to imagine it. Even imagining, you'll be looking at me like, how the fuck did you listen? So when I say parents, love your kids, hug them. Tell them that you love them. Men, do not be afraid to love on your kids. Love on them. Hug your son. Go play basketball, football, or go shopping, or go to a paint class, a smash class. Do something with your kids. Yes, this is coming from a woman who don't have kids. Listen, I don't have kids, but I raised a hell of a lot of kids. A hell of a lot of them. And I want to encourage you to raise your kids. Love your kids. Tell them how beautiful, how handsome they are. I'm going to keep saying this because somebody is going to get it. Read your kid a bedtime. Like, do people still read their kids bedtime stories? Like, just love on your fucking kids. Love them. Parents, you have to love yourself. If you know that man or that woman ain't doing what you need them to do, put them out. How you gonna tell me to put them out? Listen, it's tax time and stimmy time. Save that money, put that up, pay your bills up. You can do this. You've been doing this by yourself. Do it by yourself. Your kids will appreciate you for that, because he or she is probably bringing the family vibrations down. Talk to your kids. They probably don't even want them there, and you just want them there because you're an adult and you be wanting to do adult things. We just gotta do better. I don't know why I am on the whole wanting everybody to do better. I don't know. It shocks me every day when I wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to talk about this today. But it feels good. It feels good on the inside, like my heart. It feels good when I'm able to do that. It feels good when I'm able to tell you to tap into yourself because you are the greatest thing. I'm supposed to be wrapping this up, and I didn't even play my wrap up music. There we go. You are beautiful. You are kind. You are smart. You are intelligent. You have everything you need to be successful on the inside of you. You just got to tap into it. So what your baby mama left you? So what your wife left you? So what your husband left you? So what? If you stood still every time somebody left you or every time you heard no, you would never move. I know I would never fucking move. I would be a statue over there with Lot's wife. But the thing that keeps me going is knowing that I haven't achieved my dream yet. My dream, when I tell y'all, December 1st, I will have achieved my dream. I'm claiming that. December 1st, I will have achieved my dreams. I forgot all about, I was supposed to tell you guys about the giveaway I'm doing on Friday. I'm doing a giveaway on Friday. The first time giveaway on this channel. Friday, I am going to reach a number that I had set out to reach a long time ago. It's been a long time coming, and the change is gonna come, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell y'all what that number is, and I'm gonna tell you what that number is on Friday. But just know, I'm doing a giveaway on Friday. There's going to be two winners. Two winners. Here's the details. I don't have to do another video because I realized it's like 2 hours in and I just thought about this. I probably should have did this at the beginning, but guess what? You gotta like, comment, subscribe, share a video. Like, comment, subscribe, share a video, make sure your post notifications on, and pay attention to every video. I'm dropping clues in the videos. I already dropped two clues. I'm doing 7 clues. Already two videos. There was a clue on Friday's video, and there's a clue in the video this morning. On Thursday, when I do my 5 movies you should watch video, I want you to comment on that video the 7 things, the 7 clues that you got. I want you to comment the 7 clues. And I'm going to put your name in the raffle. 2 winners. I'm going to express this. I'm going to explain it again in the morning. Good night, Crystal. I'm going to explain it again in the morning. You got to follow, like, comment, and subscribe. And put done once you do that. And then just pay attention to the clues. 2 winners. Giveaway. Friday. I'm going to start doing it at the beginning of the video. But thank y'all for joining me. I hope I said something that encouraged you to create a dialogue with your siblings, with your mother, with your father. If you're a parent, to love on your kids. I hope I said something to inspire you. That's what I want to do from here on out. Just be inspiring. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified the next time that I go live or just upload another video. And I have to tell you to love yourself, know yourself, trust yourself, and just be yourself. And if your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandma, auntie, uncle, if they can't support you or love you or just respect you and who you are, you don't need them. You know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, I suggest that you watch The Finger Sweetie because they will tell you. Until tomorrow morning for Motivation Mondays, peace.